Sometimes we forget why we're here. It's easy to fall off track. These help us remember.
These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Growing up, I had a dream, something no one else could see. Tell me what it means when your faith is falling beneath your knees and you can't breathe. Everything you see reminds you of what you're not or something you won't be. You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business. Not because they wanna do it, just because they heard it pays. And who the fuck wants to be poor knowing that's how we've been raised? Society is getting heavy, I can feel the weight. The pressure of success is like 100 million pounds of shame. And that's the reason I'm staying up late, trying to find a way to escape the stereotypes. This day and age is making me feel like the only way I'll be happy is getting signed to a label and making money through rapping. I wanna share my emotion because this world is attacking the very principle of life that lets the people be happy. If you don't have a reason to breathe, why even live? These battle scars are impressions of everything that it is.
Don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
If I had a voice that reached 100 million people, I'd tell them there's a reason that we're all created equal. Cause some decide to be great and some decide a sequel to an average person's life is simply what they want to be. So you make your decision, all I know is what I'm given. Won't define the life I lead or the way I dwell in existence. I've seen a greater image on the walls of where I'm living, and the words twisted and scripted remind me of something written. Faith is a gift that is given down to the people. If one believes it, one receives it. It's given if it is needed. Don't ever think you're trapped in a life that you never wanted. Your options are infinite, that's some mathematical logic. I'm not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers and these battle scars on my church. Not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers, these battle scars on my church.
Don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
With Asana, you can drive clarity and impact.
Say her name, loud and clear, so they'll never forget it.
Sonya Massey. Anywhere where fear runs deep, heavy trigger cops don't think, they just sleep. Over a pot of boiling water, such a shame. A coward in blue playing a deadly game. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the trigger heavy hitter. A life taken too soon for what crime? Just a pot of water bubbling over time. No chance to explain or make it right. In the blink of an eye, plunged into eternal night. The headlights scream of injustice and pain as we mourn another life lost in vain. The system broken, hearts shattered apart by those who should protect with courage, not dark. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the trigger happy hitter. In a world so unjust, Sonya Massey lost her life. Blame thrown left and right, but just to show ignite. Say her name loud and clear, let the truth be near. In the shadows of deceit, her memory we hold dear. Amidst of darkness and lies that cloud her fate. A victim of cruelty and a cruel twist of hate. Whispers of the injustice echo through the night. Sonya's spirit lingers, demanding what is right. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the trigger happy hitter. In the shadows of the night, Sonya stood tall. I rebuke you, in the name of Jesus she called. The officer's eyes filled with venomous spite as he dared her. And I rebuke you in the dim moonlight. Sonya pleaded for mercy on bended knees. I'm sorry, she whispered, her voice filled with plea. But the officer's words cut through like a knife. A crazy bitch, she spat with hatred and strife. With courage in her heart, Sonya spoke clear and bold. Her name echoed loud as the story unfolds. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the heavy trigger hitter. In the darkness of despair, a cry for help was in the air. Sonya Massey, just 36, her mental health in need of fix. But a heartless cop's cool hand ended her life without a care. Say her name loud and clear, let it echo far and near. Justice must be served for Sonya's unfairly taken. May her story be a beacon, shining light on lives forsaken. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the happy trigger hitter. We lift our voices high to honor Sonya's name in the sky. Let it hover over their heads as a reminder of the cost of neglecting those in need and the lives that have been lost. Hey, what up, everybody? I hope all of y'all is having a blessed and humble day. I hope all of y'all continue to have a blessed and humble day. I gotta check my mic real quick. Hold on. All right, it does work. Blessings, realist. Blessings. How you doing? All right, y'all. Let's talk about it. Sonya Massey. This is part 2. Yesterday we spoke on her case. We saw a couple clips. We reacted to them. We rewatched the officer's footage. I gave, everybody knows how I feel about the situation and why I'm hitting hard. Like, I was able to make that lyrical poem for the simple fact that it hit me. I felt it. Like, what happened to her? I sit here and I think about it like, damn, people with mental health illness suffer a lot, right? My brother, when my brother was alive, he suffered from schizophrenia, and his was real bad. And he had a couple encounters with the cops, right? But my brother was real shot out. When I saw what happened to Sonya Massey, I wanted to grip the damn cop out the TV, out the screen, and just, I don't know, like, just because for the simple fact, Sonya Massey, if y'all see a lot of people that suffer from paranoid schizophrenia, which is one of the conditions my brother had, and chronic schizophrenia, right? There's different levels to it, right? She was calm. Usually, schizophrenics will start babbling or start saying a whole bunch of stuff, will really, irritate somebody. Some of them get to the point where when they feel like they're threatened, they will attack. And the reason I say it is my brother suffered from, how can I say it? Which schizophrenia there is, right? And dealing with him wasn't easy. But when I looked at Sonya Massey, it's crazy. Like, for this officer to sit here and pull that trigger, you have to have nothing but pure evil in your heart, if you have a heart. If he has a heart in his chest, right? The way that it went down, he provoked it. He escalated the situation. I hear so many people saying that it was just, and I'm sitting here like, what did you see that I didn't see? Because I saw this lady, right, trying to fend for her life, and she didn't have nothing but an empty pot of boiling water that was bubbling over time. That's all she had. When that man said, put that pot down, she didn't have a pot in her hand. She didn't reach for that pot again until that officer got closer to Sonya Massey. He killed her in cold blood. There was no reason to shoot. The second officer, in my opinion, I feel as though he has parts in it. People are saying no. But if y'all go back to yesterday's live, y'all will see why that's still in the back of my head. Because there's no way in hell Like, I get a lot of people are telling me, shout out to those people that really did point it out. Like, what if the officer was scared of him? Me, fear would have driven me to snitch on him right there and then. You're about to kill somebody that's innocent. And I say snitch because that's what people call it. They call it ratting. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. He took an innocent life. I would have sat here, try to figure it out like, yo, we gotta go. Call dispatch. Look, listen, we need backup. We need somebody to come handle the situation. Something. It took them 26 minutes. 26 minutes. Right? To sit here and call for an ambulance. Sonya Massey was still gasping for her life after this officer shot her. She was still alive for 26 minutes. They had time. They had a chance to try to save her life, and they did. So even if the second officer didn't have no parts in it, he not even once tried to stop his partner. Not once. Which to me is kind of like, damn, he ain't even freeze or nothing. Listen, man. I don't know what y'all think. This is an open panel. I'm gonna drop the link. I don't want to drop it yet because I don't, I want to show the videos and then let people come up and talk. Like, shout out to everybody that's come up and show the shorty support, has rocked out with a shorty, has helped her bring awareness. It's why we bought this channel here. Let's try to bring solutions to the table. Instead of beefing and stuff like that. Listen, man, let's bring these solutions to the table. But let's get this started, y'all. I don't know how y'all feel about the Sonya Massey. I do know that a lot of people feel like justice needs to be served. I feel as though that justice needs to be served. I know a lot of people feel as though that the cop was just, but I feel as though that the cop committed an assault. So hold on one second. Which one is my first video? No, not you. You're gonna be my last video. All right. So we're gonna take a look today. The parents are speaking. I showed a little clip yesterday of it. So we got her parents speaking, and I want y'all to hear. Some people haven't seen all the clips; they haven't seen all the videos. So if you have seen the videos and you know what's happening, shout out to you. But for those of y'all that haven't seen the video, this is what the parents said.
Yes, my name is Sonya Massey, SHADIA MASSEY, and she is my first cousin.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
My name is Raymond Dwayne Massey. It's RAYMOND, and it's DUANE, and it's MASSEY. And I'm Sonya's uncle.
It's Sonya's uncle. I appreciate it. Do we need everybody closer together at all if we get a screenshot?
If you could scooch just a hair, that would be great. Yeah, he put the camera kind of right between them.
Yeah, close.
You're comfortable. I know that. Okay. All right. I think we're, well, thank you for the multiple press conferences. We've been following them in detail, and the interest in Ms. Massey's case is, massive. And so we really appreciate the insight. We know it's not easy to talk about this, so we don't take it lightly. Can I just first ask, just as her family, obviously we all saw the video earlier this week, and we were all horrified by the video earlier this week. Seeing the autopsy results and kind of what they appear to show about how this went, just looking at that report, how do those results hit you? How does that information hit you?
Well, it hits us very hard. The way that Sonya was shot and taken from us is disgusting, and it hurts us very bad.
And Maggie,
the dead was the first family member at the house and she can tell it her own words. She been a good aunt because they were like sisters, grew up together in the same household. She was trying to clean up the blood in the house so that Malachi, her son, and some of her daughter could come in the house and get their clothes without having to see their mother's blood all over the kitchen floor.
Building your online business? Go to Wix.com and set up your store on a.
So why don't you say that in your own words?
Okay, so, my niece and my nephew, they wanted to go to the house because they needed some belongings out of there, and no one wanted to go to that house to clean up that mess. But they needed to get in there, so I would do anything for them. And so I decided to go out there and clean up the crime scene.
Mm-hmm.
And walking into that house, I just felt her. I felt her.
Yo, Sonya, yo, it was a spiritual war. It was a spirit fighting a demon that night. And her spirit is going to linger. Her spirit is going to linger until there's justice in her case. Because her spirit saw what was going to happen. This lady had a dream when her 4-year-old cousin died that an officer was going to come into her house and shoot her and her son down. You know what's the difference from her dream and what happened that night? That it was only her in that house. Let me ask y'all a question, right? How would y'all feel if you know that you had a loved one that suffers from mental illness and y'all trying to get help for them, right? And in the process of trying to help them out, you have an officer answer the call, right? And the officer that answers the call ends up taking the person's life instead of helping them, right? Then they try to cover it up and say that she was killed by a perpetrator that entered her house. Then they try to say that the wounds were self-inflicted, that basically she tried to kill herself. They try to cover this shit up. If they did this to you, what would you do? Would you sit here and wait around and let them keep playing around on trying to get justice for your loved one? Would you sit here and, do justice yourself or let karma get that person? Keep fighting. I would keep fighting. So shout out to this family that has been speaking. They have not stopped. They have not backed down. Something's off. You're telling me this officer, right, had good intentions? When this officer had a chance to walk away, he didn't. And it seemed like this officer knew the chick, which he did. He's seen her prior. The son said that he thinks that this is the same officer that came earlier that day when the mom was having, an episode. So this officer came in this house with premeditated murder. My thing is, did the girlfriend send him? Right? Could something have happened in that hospital before she either discharged herself or walked out the hospital? Did she see them do something? Did they do something to her? And, she came home trying to get help and stuff like that. Because I'm still stuck on the part of how in the world, right, if dispatch thought that these two officers were at another scene, right? By the time that dispatch put the call out, they was already en route, allegedly, to take this case. Something's not off to y'all. And they're there in minutes. They're already there. Yesterday, I explained it. If y'all go look at part 1, y'all will understand why I keep saying this. The timelines. If y'all look at the timeline, something happened in that hospital that Sonya was in. something happened between Isabel Butterfield and Sonya Massey. And this officer was going to do something to her, and he did it. My thing is that I think he thought he was going to be slick. I don't know if he knew if his partner's camera was on. I don't know if his partner had something to do with it. That's the only part that I'm thrown off on. But for a fact, this officer wanted to do something. Something happened between Sonya, this officer, and Isabel Butterfield. But I can't, I can't really say it did until more evidence comes out, more proof comes out. But let's listen to what she got to say. Yo, this case is crazy. And if it hasn't hit you, damn, man, I don't know what to say, because this right here hits. A lot of us have loved ones that suffer from mental health.
I felt like I knew what happened to her immediately. When I get to the kitchen.
Blessings, Young Riaz. Blessings, how you doing this morning?
And I see her blood laying on that floor. It broke me down. But my main focus was to not let my niece and nephew see what happened to their mother on that floor.
I just wanted to say that the video was horrible enough, but to be misled on.
You know what's crazy though? Shout out to her cousin. But at the, we all got good intentions, right? We don't want our kids or somebody else's kids to see when something bad happens. The crazy part is when the video got leaked out, everything got seen. So it's like, no matter how hard we try to prevent our kids or, our loved ones from getting hurt, from seeing something we don't want them to see, they gotta know the truth. They end up seeing it anyways. Like, this is something that, man, no child should have to go through. Like, to have your mother or your father or a sibling or a grandfather or a grandmother or an uncle or an auntie that you love so much that has mental health issues killed by the hands of somebody that is supposed to protect.
How things transpired is even more hurtful, and it just makes that pain a lot deeper for our family.
I so appreciate it, sir. If we can try to keep, I think, the camera stagnant on the two family members, is that okay?
Yeah, we fixed it on our end.
I so appreciate it. I know it's not easy, guys, so we'll keep that camera up as is, if that's okay, because I think we're going to try to use the questions and answers. Could I ask you just both again, I'm sorry to belabor this point, but when you saw the autopsy result appearing to show that she was shot at a downward trajectory, what did that do to you emotionally?
Well, for me, and everyone's seen the video, she was stooping. It's a downward trajectory because of her telling him she was sorry and ducking. And
she was just trying to get out the way. I can almost see, like, she was trying to get out the way.
And you've seen that, like she said, she was ducking, and it makes.
Yeah, and that's crazy because it's true. Sonya didn't know what to do. Officer was telling her to put a pot down that she didn't have in her hand. She told him, "I rebuke you." He said, "You better not. I'm going to shoot you in the face." She said, "I rebuke you again." And boom, he did exactly what he said he was going to do. Like, boy, I'm telling you right now, listen, man, it's crazy, but I'm being real honest. Like, whether y'all believe it or not, when that officer pulled that gun out, I want y'all to look up your rights. I want y'all to look up your laws. Y'all listen, go look it all up, right? Your rights, the laws, all of that. Look it up. You are allowed to shoot an officer, right? In self-defense. You're allowed to, react back towards an officer in self-defense, for those of y'all that don't know. This officer pulled out a weapon on an innocent woman, right? That wasn't threatening him, that wasn't harming him, that wasn't going to do nothing to him. All she said was, "I rebuke you." When he went over with that gun, when he was getting closer with that gun, If she had a gun and shot back at him, she would have been in all her rights. For those of y'all that don't know, I want y'all to go look it up. Please don't go by what I'm saying. I want y'all to go look it up. I know exactly what I'm telling y'all. She had every right to defend herself. She wouldn't have been wrong if she had a knife in her hand and he was coming at her with that gun and she decided to stab him. If she had a gun in her hand and decided to fire at him because he was coming at her with a weapon and she wasn't doing nothing. Self-defense. But you know what? I got somebody else that can sit here and explain it. And I'm glad that, shout out to Novelist, I'm glad he explained it because a lot of people don't know about this. Listen, I got a little book, right, that tells me the little penal codes. It tells me the little whatever. I don't know how to explain it and put it into words, but basically it tells you your rights, what you could do, what you can't do, what you're not allowed to do, you know, about the judges, the cops, the officers. Like, it's stuff out there that would teach you all this stuff, and you can learn your rights and what you can do and what you cannot do when you come across a situation like this. But don't go by what I'm saying. I want y'all to go out there and do your own research because a lot of people don't know this. But see, I learned this when I was 21, when I had to sit here and defend my mom, right? I got locked up for stabbing somebody. My record got expunged. It was self-defense. The officers were supposed to arrest the people that came in front of my mama's property, right? And they did what they did, right? I'm not going to speak on it, but at the end of the day, I wasn't supposed to be the one getting arrested. The officers were in the wrong. But, right, I won my case. Self-defense. A lot of people was like, it's going to be hard to beat that. Nah, it's self-defense. Learn your rights. Learn them. I had to learn them at an early age. Because listen, man, I'm not somebody that beefs, but I will sit here and defend myself. I will sit here and protect what I have to protect. On some real shit. I'm going to protect mine, even if it costs me my last breath. I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover, but if I have to sit here and fuck somebody up, sorry that I'm cursing, I will. I don't care if you're the Pope. I don't care if you're an officer. My rights are my rights. But let's get back on topic. I apologize for that, but I wanted y'all to know that when it's in your house, you have rights. Oh, I'm so sorry. Blessings, Blessings Hot Topics and Good Folks. If y'all haven't checked out Blessings Hot Topics and Good Folks, yo, go make sure y'all check her out. Great conversations, great topics. Everybody on here does have a channel. Y'all can leave y'all links down there. Y'all got y'all mods, y'all got the sticks, y'all can leave y'all links. Make sure y'all check them out. But let's get back on topic. But let us shorty know what y'all thinking, how y'all feel about the situation. What would y'all do if y'all was in the shoes of Sonya Massey's family?
Makes our whole family feel horrible.
Yeah. And that coupled with the fact that he took 2 to 3 steps over in the video where he can have a direct shot at her.
And another thing is that I heard the first 2 shots in the video that those shots didn't hit her. It's like he reached around to purposely hit her, and that's the hurtful part. I feel like if he.
I said that the first time when the body camera was on mute, he threw the first 2 shots. That's what made her reach up for that pot and empty the water out and use it as protection. She thought that this pot was going to protect her face. Like, she was already paranoid. This officer was in the wrong. And to top it off, he knew she had mental health issues. So for those people out here that are saying that he was in the right, no. Sonya Massey wasn't wrong. It was the cop's assault. He was wrong. He assaulted her.
He felt he made a mistake. That 3rd shot when it went off, the one that took her eye.
There was no humanity, there was terrible things that was said even after the fact, as she's.
That's true, realist. But you know what's crazy right now? There's a black cop getting a lot of heat, a lot of lashback. Well, two of them. Two black cops right now getting a lot of heat, a lot of lashback because they're saying that the cop was right. That he was in all his rights to sit here and shoot down Sonya Massey. Can you believe that? Can y'all believe that we have an actual black cop saying that this officer was just for shooting down Sonya Massey? Yeah, go look it up. And I'm gonna keep saying go look it up from now on because I don't want people to keep I don't want people to think that I want y'all to, go by what I'm saying. Because listen, I ain't perfect. And I'm not always right, but I do my research. And I know what I'm talking about. And I know that I be wrong a lot of times. I can misunderstand certain things, or I could take something wrong. But at the end of the day, shit, I know when to take accountability. Hey, I fucked up. I was wrong in this situation. I apologize. But right now, I want y'all to go look up your laws. I want y'all to know that if an officer, right, threatens your life, you are able to protect yourself and defend yourself from this officer. And I'm not telling y'all to go out there and start some shit with officers and get yourselves in trouble. I'm telling y'all to learn y'all laws so y'all can know how to defend yourselves when shit like this pops off. Oh, that's facts. If a black officer was to be the one that pulled that trigger, he would have been lynched the next day. That's a fact, blessings. Blessings, blessings, Miss Tamika Davis. Blessings, how you doing? Happy Sunday to everyone. The architect. Look, can't defend yourself if they get the drop on you. Oh, you're completely right. But what I'm trying to say is, right, I don't want y'all to misunderstand what I'm saying, right? Yeah, you can't, defend yourself when they got the drop on you. But I want people to know. I want them to go out there and learn their rights. I want y'all to understand. I don't want y'all to be scared. When an officer pulls up a gun, you just have to stay there and freeze because if you do something back, you're going to jail. Listen, regardless of anything, somebody's going to be booked until your innocence is proven. Until you're proven innocent, right? But me, I know that if an officer's pulling this weapon and I know he's pulling the trigger, I'm going to try to defend myself. You see where I'm coming from? And that's what I want people to know. I want y'all to know that y'all can defend yourselves. If y'all didn't do nothing wrong and an officer is threatening your life, you can defend yourself. All right, we'll finish your food and then we talk in a minute, baby. Yeah, I want y'all to look up y'all rights, man. Look, I learned this when I was 21 because I had to, defend my mom. She was involved in some bullshit. Sometimes my mom had a mouth on her. So she got herself involved in some bullshit. Some people came over here, gang deep, squad deep. And I wasn't around. I walked into the mess. Like, all I know is I'm walking in. I'm thinking I'm coming to see my mom. I was pregnant at that time. I didn't even know I was pregnant with my second child. So, like, I'm sitting here, like, a whole bunch of shit was popping off. People was defending, yo, your mom's getting her, like, da-da-da-da. There's some people fucking with her. People was already defending my mom. But when I came in, whoa, like, everybody else started, like, that shit got squad deep. Like, I got people that love me. I just don't brag about that shit. Like, but what I'm trying to say is, go learn your rights, right? Like, 'cause my story isn't for this right now. My story, like, that's a topic for another day. But we're on Sonya Massey, and like I told y'all, this hit me close. This hit me because I had a brother with mental health. He had schizophrenia, he had paranoia, and he had chronic schizophrenia. He needed a lot of support, he needed a lot of help, and he, came across, a couple times where, well, if we wasn't there to calm him down, an officer could have took him out. So I know what it's like. But Sonya Massey wasn't reacting like you would see as somebody with schizophrenia out here react. She was calm, cool, and collected, and she did mention that she took her medication. So probably her taking her medication and her praying and her, and her faith kept her that calm. Sonya had an angel over her shoulder that day. Because when I tell you that when a schizophrenic feels paranoid, once that cop pulled that gun out, they react. She didn't react. She tried to defend herself. She reached back up to the stove, picked up a pot of water, threw that shit out, and kept going like this. Officer got closer. After he threw the first 2 shots, I knew it. I saw it. Got closer and aimed. It wasn't just a headshot. He also aimed at the chest. But I hope you get better. Blessings, blessings. Be careful, yo. Y'all know they getting ready for another pandemic, right? Go out there, do y'all research. They ready for another pandemic. So trust me, it's gonna be another government shutdown soon. Allegedly, let me say allegedly before I don't want them to strike me. But I'm listening when I go to these meetings and stuff like that. So get ready. It's coming. Something's coming.
Laying there on the floor.
Wix gives you the power of AI to build the website you need. With full
That's hurtful, very hurtful, and I don't know.
The way that she was shot in the autopsy report, we kind of already knew what the autopsy was going to say. We kind of already felt, from watching the video from the beginning, without the blurs, without everything, we kind of knew. We didn't know where the shots went in and came out, but after watching that video the first time, we kind of knew what the autopsy would come out to be.
Sonya was a very, very peaceful, loving person. And not even that situation, but she wouldn't aggressively, call people.
See, she wasn't aggressive, but she was paranoid, which means this officer could have handled that situation completely different.
Names or she was always just beautiful, loving, caring.
I love you, I love you, I love you. That's kind of a Massey thing. We love everybody. So they probably heard me all over the world telling me, I thank y'all, I love y'all so much. Sonya's last words to the person that killed her was, I love you. That was us. We still loved very hard. And I'm sure Sonya still felt the same way.
Can I ask you, and this is obvious, but if I could just get you to kind of sort of drill down this point, you're not just shining a spotlight at the video, you're not just shining a spotlight at the autopsy report, you're shining a spotlight at Grayson's past.
I would say not only that, I mean, we need answers we need all the answers. We're not just looking for some answers, we need all the answers.
What stands out to you most from what you've learned about the past?
Well, I would say for me, it's what stands out the most is how heinous it was and how disrespectful it was during, and the world's seen the video, so that's what hurts me.
And I just feel like he should never been hired as a sheriff. And that is the most that is standing out for me. That is the biggest part for me. How did he even become to even get to this point?
He shouldn't have been hired. If y'all go look, this officer had quite a record. And them 2 arrests that he had, with them 2 arrests alone, we don't know how in the world he got hired. Oh, my bad. Let me take it back. We do know how he got hired. Isabel Butterfield still has a pool in the police department. He is, I guess, that much respected that they took his word and hired a man and ignored his background.
When you look at his record, you mean?
Yes, ma'am. When I look at his record, yes, ma'am.
There were so many red flags.
Yeah, which of those, and I guess I'm asking about the employment record and also his criminal conviction. What, based on everything that you've uncovered, which seems to be quite a bit, what stuck out to you as far as like his time even before?
I chose Wix for my business because of its
Commercials.
massive scope for functionality and freedom of creation.
For joining this sheriff's department, like when you're looking at all these things that you say red flags, which red flag stood out to you the most?
The fact that he had 2 DUI convictions, the fact that he had been not discharged in the normal course with the Army, that they found he had serious misconduct, the fact on his questions for his employment, he admitted that he drinks a lot of alcohol. He also, you know, before he got hired by Sangamon County at Logan County, they had 2 unfounded allegations of him engaging in misconduct. The question that the family has is, did he have any alcohol or drugs in his system on that night that he shot Sonya Massey in her face?
Yeah, can I ask for relatives? Mr. Crump just listed some of the things that have made headlines from the deputy's past. You know, as just people who, you're not in law enforcement yourselves, nor am I, like, what did you think when you started uncovering all these details about his employment history and those red flags that you're talking about? How did that hit you?
Well, it speaks some about the department as well. I mean, should he, like Attorney Crump said, should he have been hired? I mean,
He shouldn't have been hired. It's messed up, right? Because this family really just wants to seek answers. They want to know, why would this officer have the courage in his heart, if he has any heart, which to me is just cold and bitter. He has no heart in his chest. If he has any heart, to pull a trigger on a defenseless woman, what made him do it? But if y'all go watch part 1, y'all will see what I feel made him do it. I feel as though, like I said before, his wife, which they say is a fiance, but they got married now in 2024, last month. I feel as though she has something to do with it. I feel like Sonya Massey and her, something went down, right? And the husband went to, or Sonya saw something go down in that hospital that they did. Could he be selling drugs in a hospital? I mean, I could come up with so many theories, but something definitely went down in that hospital between Sonya, Isabel, and Sean. That's my opinion. That's what I think. I don't know what y'all think. I'm gonna drop the link in a little bit, and y'all can let me know.
Yeah, as you're digesting all of it, how do you make sense of that, I guess?
I don't know if that, I don't think we'll ever make sense of this.
Have you had any communications with the sheriff of Sangamon County or with the department since this happened? Have they shed any light to your family on how he was able to get his job and essentially get hired again?
I know, to my knowledge, that our family has not been contacted by that department as of today.
People within the department that maybe I know personally have reached out on their own to send their condolence to me and my family.
For those who you know, whether they're in law enforcement in the Springfield area or elsewhere, and they make decisions about who to hire and who to give a gun to and who to give that power to on a daily basis, what would you tell them? Like, what sort of, I guess, a takeaway from seeing that someone with Grayson's background was able to...
Wix gives
Damn,
you the power
commercials.
of AI to build the website you need. With full
to get the job?
Sorry, I'm about to switch to premium on the next
What would
one.
you tell those who kind of have that decision-making power?
I would just think that they need to do a better background check on everybody.
And I feel that the department needs to have different policies and protocols. I mean, else he would not have been hired. I mean, I think everyone agrees to that, but
I just feel like there was somewhere, if you're getting hired at 6 different or 4 different police stations or departments in a 6-year period, there was a red flag there. They should have did a deeper investigation or a deeper background check on him there. There's no one's going to leave a job like that in a year. This is your career.
I was going to say that I retired out of VMS after 23 years, and I know that when we come up on someone that's troubled, we would call not law enforcement, but it's a CIT, the crisis intervention training. Individual will respond, and there was a lot of things at the initial when he was speaking of her. There was a lot of red flags that he should have immediately called someone that can deal with individual with mental illness. And I believe most places have some type of training with mental illness that I feel she was failed.
And this might sound redundant, but if I could just get you to confirm this. I mean, it's your opinion that he never should have been hired for that job.
I don't think it's only his opinion. I think a lot of people that has, dug into the case, has looked at the records, the paperwork and all that. He should have never been hired. Like he was only hired because somebody knew him. Other than that, he wouldn't have really been hired at all. I mean, like if you look at his record, like it's crazy. It's like hiring a teacher. Well, they do hire these teachers that are on drugs and stuff. Like I've done live showing y'all that these teachers go to school, they take their drugs, they've gotten arrested with alcohol, pills, all types of different shit. Like, so it's like, I don't know. I guess they got to get better on their background searches when they hire people. It doesn't matter if it's in a police department or in a school district, for real. Like, something's off with their hiring. Like, are they just hiring to hire, or they just don't care?
Well, 2 DUIs. There was a lot of red flags. No, I agree that he should not have been hired.
Maggie, is that everything? We gotta.
Can I just, Janelle, do you want to add anything at the end?
Hey, Janelle.
Hi, Ben.
Good job on your article.
Thank you so much. And thank you for you all speaking with us. I know how difficult a time it is. I've been the one doing a lot of the reporting, unearthing the things in his background. And I just wanted to know, specific to Sonya's killing, do you believe that race played a factor, that had Sonya been maybe a white woman, he may have shown her a little more or any consideration and treated her any differently than how he did?
Yes, we do.
100%.
Ben, I know you had more to say on that. Did you want to weigh in on that at all when you spoke to Ben more?
Yeah, I was letting them win. Obviously, I think if she was a white woman, she'd still be alive today.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think your colleague here has a couple of questions before we get some of your other.
That's a good question. If she was a white woman, would she still been alive? I think so. Maybe. But I think this was a little more personal. Well, I'm just hoping they're not trying to change it to something else. If she was a white person, would she still been alive? Yeah. But I think this was a little more personal.
Industry, colleagues.
I just wanted to ask you guys, what does justice look like for Sonya in this overall? What does justice look like for you?
I'm a complete whole. I think we're gonna get full justice, and I pray that we do.
So you think you know Wix? Do you really?
Oh, keep hitting me with these commercials.
First up, we've got Shake.
No, I believe that's
Justice for Sonya would be him getting life in prison, his partner doing some time, because something deep down inside me knew that his partner knew what he was going to do. But and the truth coming all the way out completely. That would be justice for Sonya.
that's the whole justice. And as she said, that if he needs to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and that'll be some time.
And there have been, plenty of rallies, marches in support of Sonya. How has the community shown their support? How has that impacted you all?
It has been wonderful. I have not seen this in my life. I never would have imagined it, but just the community and the Facebook posts and the calls and the everything that I'm seeing, it is great. It is wonderful, and we appreciate everyone.
I can tell you it's obvious that why Sonya's mother, my sister Donna, is not here. But I can tell you that that does give her hope. She really appreciates what the world's doing for her in the comments. And so I think that's going to help us. But we have a long road ahead of us.
I know you guys have talked a little bit.
It's crazy how they feel like the world will uncover the case before the police does. The police knows what happened. They're covering it up. In the world is, figuring it out little by little. There's a lot of people covering this case, and there's a lot of people putting their noggins together and figuring out what actually happened. Because Elizabeth is right there. Like, the video shows it all. Flags were all over the place, and Sonya spoke to the world loud and clear. Like, the best way I could put it into words for y'all is like this.
Say her name, loud and clear, so they'll never forget it.
Sonya Massey. Anywhere where fear runs deep, heavy trigger cops don't think, they just leap. Over a pot of boiling water, such a shame, a coward in blue playing a deadly game. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees, I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the trigger happy hitter. A life taken too soon for what crime? Just a pot of water bubbling over time. No chance to explain or make it right. In the blink of an eye, plunged into eternal night. The headlights scream of injustice and pain as we mourn another life lost in vain. The system broken, hearts shattered apart by those who should protect with courage, not dark. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the trigger happy hitter. In a world so unjust, Sonya Massey lost her life. Blame thrown left and right, but just to show ignite. Say her name loud and clear, let the truth be near. In the shadows of deceit, her memory we hold dear. Amidst the darkness and lies that cloud her fate. A victim of cruelty and a cruel twist of hate. Whispers of the injustice echo through the night. Sonya's spirit lingers, demanding what is right. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the trigger happy hitter. In the shadows of the night, Sonya stood tall. I rebuke you, in the name of Jesus she called. The officer's eyes filled with venomous spite as he dared her. And I rebuke you in the dim moonlight. Sonya pleaded for mercy on bended knees. I'm sorry, she whispered, her voice filled with plea. But the officer's words cut through like a knife. A crazy bitch, she spat with hatred and strife. With courage in her heart, Sonya spoke clear and bold. Her name echoed loud as the story unfolds. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the happy trigger hitter. In the darkness of despair, a cry for help was in the air. Sonya Massey, just 36, her mental health in need of fix. But a heartless cop's cool hand ended her life without a care. Say her name loud and clear, let it echo far and near. Justice must be served for Sonya's unfairly taken. May her story be a beacon, shining light on lives forsaken. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the happy trigger hitter. We lift our voices high to honor Sonya's name in the sky. Let it hover over their heads as a reminder of the cost of neglecting those in need and the lives that have been lost.
And that's a fact. Let's say her name loud and clear. Let's not let them forget. Let's let her story, be the beacon that shines for other stories that have been forsaken. Because there's so many stories like this that is happening, and a lot of people is ignoring it. All right, let's finish listening to what they got to say so I can put on the next video, y'all. I want to say thank you to everybody that's been supporting a shorty, man. Y'all don't got to be here, but y'all here rocking out with a shorty, and I thank y'all.
Sonya was like, but can you just tell us what's your favorite, best memory that you guys have together?
Her waking up every morning cooking fried red tomatoes. That is my memory that I'm going to hold with me forever.
Memories.
She made it a point to call me, and keep in touch. And every time she calls, the first thing she says is, I love you, Uncle. She never called me Uncle Ray. She just called me Uncle. And she only called me to tell me about either the kids or her accomplishments. And she was so proud of herself, with the accomplishments that she's had. That's what I'm going to miss. I'm going to miss her phone call. I'm going to miss her beautiful face. And
All right. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for sitting down.
Yeah. That's a shame for a family to have to go through this. It's fucked up. All right, y'all. We're gonna hear her family speak at the they held a rally. I think this was last week, if I'm not mistaken. Does this one have the? Yes, this was a couple days ago, actually. This was on July 30th, 2020. You hear me? Like, what year is that? 2020. I'm about to play that number, 2020. Shit, I'm about to call my baby pops. I'm like, yo, I don't know why, but this number just came out. 2020. Go play that, John. See if we hit. Damn. But it came out July 30th, 2024. So this is the conference they had. I'm not sure. I think I got the son speaking on the other one. All right, my bad. Before I play that one, let me play the one prior to that. The other one comes before this one. So hold on one second. I apologize. I'm trying to do an order. I don't want to mess it up. Here we go. All right. So I'm not playing the whole rally. I fast forward it. This was on July 26th, right? So that we could hear her family speak.
I also.
Oh, I got this on slow motion? No, it's normal.
It was so hard. It's hard for me to see my daughter and my nephew had to go in the house and clean up blood. And that just hurts me to see my family hurt. And after what Attorney Crump had talked about the autopsy, that is exactly why he needs to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Thank you, Mr. Massey. Thank you very much, Mr. Massey. Now you will hear from Shadia Massey, who is her first cousin, Raymond's daughter. And even though she has 3 other sisters, she was raised with Shadia, and they were like sisters. And Shadia was the first family member to arrive at the scene. And I mean, obviously the emotion of seeing your sister blood everywhere and how she tried to clean the blood up. So Malachi and Summer, her children, wouldn't have to see their mother's blood when they came in the house to get their clothes. So Shadia Massey was trying to speak to you from the heart.
Hello. Sonya meant the world to me. I loved her so much. This tragedy has been too much on my family. Her kids, her daughter cannot sleep at night, y'all. She's in one household, I'm in another household. For her to go to the bathroom, she has to be on FaceTime with me. For her to get a drink of water, she has to call us before she get out of her bed. You know, this is the hardest thing.
Oh shit, the kids are still staying in the house. Yo, listen, man. I didn't know the kids were still staying in the house. That's crazy, right? Damn. Like, to sit here in the same place where this happened to their mom, yeah, they gonna sit here, they gonna be having questions, they gonna be thinking about it. Listen, man, they're gonna be in their head. Like, the best thing that I can say that's going, like, and it's not gonna help all the way, but it'll show them how to deal with like their anxiety or a panic attack or whatever, the depression, whatever it is that they're going through. Like, they're gonna have to go through therapy for a little bit. For real. Because what happened to their mom, like, especially if they saw the videos, which I know they saw the video, that when the camera footage got leaked out and stuff like that, that's gotta be going through their head. For, you know, her to say, down, my niece, you know, for her to go to the bathroom, she has to FaceTime me. Yes. Like, even though the kids wasn't there, they're gonna suffer some type of trauma through it. They lost their mother by the hands of a cop, a person that's supposed to protect, serve and protect. Like, well, and if they seen the video, them images are gonna be in their head.
Thing that we have ever been through as a Massey. It just breaks my heart that our family has to go through this.
No, it's fine. Justice for Sonya Massey. And finally, you'll hear from Malachi, who was the first one notified that his mother had been killed. And just as he explained to us what they told him, you see, was defined as an autopsy. So, Malachi, if you would share what you from your heart.
Well, you know that they told me that my mom, you know, she got shot in her eye and it came out her neck or whatever. And I don't know, like, I haven't been able to sleep for real. The only time I really feel comfortable sleeping is when I'm like just on the floor. I can't even sleep in my bed. Like, I don't know, like, this is just, I really don't have words. Like I've been said, I don't have words for real for this. But the first night I don't go to my mother's house, this happens. How? Why? And I wonder if I was there, if he would have did anything to me. I don't know. For real. That's all I can say. She lives with her father. I live with my father.
And I will say this, up until just a few weeks, Malachi and Summer were staying with their mother. She was having mental illnesses, and they made the decision it was best that they stay with their father while she seeks help. And that both of them were going every day to check on their mother, be with their mother. And the first time I talked to Malachi, he was so distraught because he said, because I was working, this was the first day I didn't get to her, and this happens. And then the only other thing, Malachi, you may want to tell them is, you think law enforcement came there earlier that day?
Okay, it was an incident that happened earlier that day, and I talked to 2 officers or whatever, and I believe that it's the same officer that shot my mother. I talked to his partner first, then the second officer, that's the one that I think the one that did that. I talked to them, and they told me that because she was driving herself to the hospital or something, she wasn't even at the house when this was going on.
Y'all see what happened? Like, it seems like something happened in that hospital. It feels like Isabel Butterfield and Sonya Massey got into something.
But she was driving herself to the hospital. They told me that they were going to go there to help her, and then this happens.
So she was seeking help because she was trying to get help. And it's like Mr. Wilburn said, she was trying to get help. She needed a helping hand, not a bullet to the face.
That's right.
She just needed those officers to extend an ounce of humanity, not to kill her. And
all right, guys, I apologize. I have to deal with something. I'm gonna get back to this. It's gonna be a part 3. I have to deal with my son. Something just went down outside, so I'll be back. I gotta go deal with this before some bullshit pop off. So let me go figure out what's going on outside, and I'll come back to do a part 3 on this. I apologize. Shit, if it's ain't one thing, is another.